Welcome once again out of four year science so Eshe Shabium. So John Dramani Mahama Ababe breaking silence. He has vowed to say those involved in the corrupt act in the country, especially within this current regime. MPP. What would him say? Sikabi Ababe found same and it is not the right way, get prepared. Because if he comes into power, obe making sure so prosecute him. John Dramani Mahama Babe Kasa. Now, not long ago, Malik Basintale was saying something similar to what John Dramani Mahama is saying. And finally, John Dramani Mahama himself has come to confirm it. Before we listen to John Dramani Mahama, let me read this post to you. So, this was a post to be concerning Asante Bedieto. Asante Bedieto ho nsensem ene ko raise question na Malik Basintale raise solid point bi wa ha. So Gabi Otredako eba be comment for Asante Bedieto ni yare no ho nsensem. Asante Bedieto say ne ho mfa no ebi musi wen stroke ebi musi wewu. And Gabi Otredako made this post on Facebook saying, the hatred is deep and scary. To wish a fellow human being dead and be disappointed he is still alive is a devilishly based anger. It's a devilishly based. Anger says Aristotle can be cured by time, but hatred cannot. This was the post that Gabi Otredako to what time I no more criticize a year Asante Bedieto, say Asante Bedieto wewu. And that was when Malik Basintale Babe responded say, I hope you now get a sense of how Ghanaians feel about your mafia family. I mean the Dankwa and Kuntunkun and Oforipenin family. So Oye not to say, well, we don't wish you all dead. We wish you all jailed and the stolen monies returned. So I am Malik Basintale there. He has been talking about this. Say they will be jailed and the stolen money, it will be returned. According to Malik Basintale, this is what he said. And now John Dramani Mahama has spoken. According to John Dramani Mahama, he's trying to mean say, those in this corruption act in this party, it has become too much. Now, Obe making sure so about prosecute you. So if you notice some of the party money and it can't pass your pocket, be prepared. Cause was so in someone John Dramani Mahama. Edit to our this side. Don't subscribe here, so subscribe to the channel for more updates.
To what you have personally promised God that you're going to do for him. And the point is, we are different religious backgrounds in this country, and all of us pay taxes. Muslims pay taxes, Christians pay taxes. Those who believe in African tradition, they also pay taxes. And so you cannot, out of your own discretion, decide that you want to use the taxpayers' money for that particular project. The Muslims built their national mosque. They went to Turkey and got a foundation, raised the funds from Turkey to build it. And I'm sure that there are many Christian foundations that could have helped to build this cathedral if the president had approached them. But they used $58 million of taxpayers' money to inject in what, as at now, is a pit filled with water and mosquitoes. Recently, some people went for a swimming contest in that pit. I don't know how healthy the water there is, but Ghanaians want to know how that happened. We also want to know how 25 billion that was expended for COVID-19 expenditure was used. The Auditor General says only 40% of that money was used for COVID-related activity. The rest of the 60%, what happened to it? What was it used for? We want to know. For instance, we know that $30 million was paid in advance for vaccines or something, which were never delivered. And so we want to know who took that money and why those vaccines were not delivered. The other contracts that were given without tender, no resort to the procurement process. It was like they were just distributing it to friends and family. You go and supply this, you go and supply this. And people have taken our money and misused it without living up to expectations. So we want to know about that. There are many others. PDS scandal. Americans withdrew $190 million because the people who were selected as front people for the president's family, they started quarreling with the people who they had used as their fronts. And there's an audio recording of them talking about how the shares should be transferred and all that. That audio recording has never been investigated. The voices on the audio are known. Nobody has called them to question them. How come you were, discussing shares in a company that you are not part of? And that led to the collapse of PDS. How was the bank guarantee changed into an insurance guarantee in the vice president's office when the condition was that it should be a bank guarantee? And then it was changed to an insurance guarantee in the office of the vice president. And then and got a fake Qatar insurance guarantee. All those things, Ghanaians want to know what happened. We want to know about SML, where the spare parts for ambulances are more expensive than the ambulances themselves. I mean, how can that happen? That you buy spare parts that are more expensive than the ambulance themselves. We want to know about the 13th African Games, because the figures you hear are mind-boggling. Feeding fees of $15 million, to feed athletes and officials. I wonder how in 3 weeks officials and athletes could consume $15 million. They must have been eating the whole time instead of doing sporting activities. And so Ghanaians want to know. $2 million of our money was paid for a sky train that vanished. Nothing happened. We heard they were bringing trains that will fly in the sky. The flying trains never came. And our $2 million too has never come back. We want to know what happened. $12 million was paid as mobilization to a contractor for Palugu multipurpose dam. The site is infested by reptiles and lizards and cockroaches, and $12 million of our money has vanished into thin air. Match sets, which should have cost a certain figure, were inflated about 5 times. And these are match sets you could buy in the market very cheap. The same match sets were procured at 5 times the price. And Ghanaians want to know about that. We want to know about the missing excavators. We want to know about the SADA tricycles that were taken and distributed amongst political family and friends. We want to look at the bus scandal. There are so many scandals. If I continue listening to them, we'll stay here till evening.
Into other for senya muhu video no John Dramani Mahama wakasa, and under this regime, when we talk about corruption and scandals and agro, I don't want to talk much. Cecilia Dapa who there a whole lot of story. Obi to me kukuru dollar fee. It's a lot, even to talk about the National Cathedral krano and agro. It's a lot. So John Dramani Mahama ni message or beto hono. Let me know your opinion in the comments. Do your best to subscribe, turn on the notification, share the video for more updates.